The sun, if seen from its nearest star neighbor, would appear as a bright star among thousands. And from that neighboring star, traveling at the speed of light, it would take more than 4 years to reach the solar system. Four and a half billion years ago, the sun and its planets were born when an immense cloud of hydrogen and cosmic dust began to condense. As the huge cloud collapsed, pulled inward by its own gravity, a massive sphere circled by a great rotating disk of gas and dust took shape. As millions of years passed, pockets of whirling matter in the disk consolidated. When the central sphere, heated from the energy of its own collapse, reached 1,000,000 degrees, nuclear fusion was ignited. And so, the sun began to shine. The young planets emerged, bathed in radiant sunlight. Swinging in vast orbits around the sun, the planets evolved for billions of years, and each became unique. Mercury, closest planet to the sun, is overwhelmed by its fiery parent. It is thought that the sun baked away half the original substance of Mercury. The lighter elements vaporized, leaving behind a planet made of rock and metal, 1/3 the size of Earth. With no atmosphere or erosion, craters left by crashing meteorites remain fresh forever. There is little chance for any form of life here. At noon, lead would melt. At night, the temperature becomes cold enough to make iron brittle as glass. In the black sky, we see the neighboring planet, Venus. Venus was once considered Earth's twin, but rather than a heavenly twin to Earth, Venus, named after the goddess of love, is under its clouds a fiery hell. The clouds of Venus resemble the kindly clouds of Earth, but are made of carbon dioxide and traces of corrosive acids. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is 90 times greater than Earth's. The tops of the clouds are freezing, but under the clouds, trapped heat from the sun keeps the planet a raging inferno. It is unlikely we will ever find any evidence of life on Venus, past or present. For if living creatures ever walked this planet, both they and the cells of which they were made would long ago have been scorched beyond recognition. Past Venus, catching light that left the sun 8 minutes earlier, planet Earth and its moon. One can imagine travelers from another planet wondering if they might find beings similar to themselves here, or any signs of life, even a few quivering cells to relieve their loneliness. This is the view of Earth seen by human astronauts. To those travelers, it is home, where friends live and birds sing in the trees.
The chief issue is that of mining the deep seabed, where treasures and minerals lie exposed to any technology that can scoop them up. The trouble is, as a developing nation, wealthy activity...
The atmosphere shields the planet from certain of the sun's harmful rays and absorbs enough heat to keep the surface temperature comfortable for life.
Some progress.
Our moon, about 1/4 the size of Earth, is large as moons go. It is nearly the size of the planet Mercury. Its surface is mostly lava, dust, and various kinds of rock, formed by the shattering heat of crashing meteoroids. There is no air here and no sounds. The dust is neither stirred by wind nor wet by water. A footprint left here will remain undisturbed for millions of years. About 75 million kilometers beyond Earth, the red planet, Mars. Some had hoped to find Martians digging canals and managing vast farms. But as far as we know, there is no life on Mars. The planet does have seasons. Ice caps at the poles change size as summers and winters pass. Every 25,000 years, they tilt a bit toward the sun and may melt, giving Mars rivers and valleys. The atmosphere on Mars is a near vacuum, 200 times thinner than Earth's. The planet's surface is marked with craters, canyons as long as North America is wide, faults and sand dunes. The crust is pierced by many volcanoes, including Olympus Mons, 3 times higher than Mount Everest. The thin atmosphere is easily penetrated by ultraviolet rays from the sun, deadly to all but the most hardy microbes, and there is no oxygen. Yet we have not quite abandoned the idea that something that moves lives here. Mars has two small moons, Phobos and Deimos. Phobos, the larger of the two, is 17 miles long, or 30 kilometers. Beyond Mars, in an orbit where we expect another planet, we find instead the asteroids. Thousands of pieces of metallic rock, raw materials perhaps for a planet that was never born. The largest is about the size of the state of California. The smallest, a grain of dust. Farther out from the asteroids, the largest of all planets, giant Jupiter, ruling 14 moons. Had it grown 5 to 10 times larger, it might have collapsed, ignited, and glowed with a red light. Our sun would then have become a double star, like billions of others in the universe. The Great Red Spot is perhaps a gigantic hurricane. The Earth would easily fit inside this red spot. Jupiter's atmosphere, topped by bands of frozen ammonia clouds, is 1,000 kilometers deep. Below the atmosphere, hydrogen, compressed into a liquid by the sheer weight of the gases above it. Of Jupiter's 14 moons, the largest is Ganymede. It is 1.5 times larger than our moon. Moving farther out, light from the sun grows dimmer, and distances between planets grow greater. Nearly 1.5 billion kilometers out from the sun, the most elegant object in the solar system, Saturn, with its rings circled by 10 moons. The rings of Saturn are composed of countless rocks coated with ice. They are so thin, distant stars can be seen through them. Saturn's largest moon, Titan, has an atmosphere, a poisonous mixture of hydrogen and methane gas. Far beyond Saturn, the third of the giant gaseous planets, Uranus, girdled by 5 rings. Uranus is 4 times larger than Earth. Its surface is veiled by clouds of frozen ammonia. The distance to the next planet is more than 1 billion kilometers. Neptune, the last of the giants, accompanied by Triton, one of its moons. Triton is perhaps the largest moon in the solar system. It orbits so close to Neptune, it is expected to crash within the next 10 to 100 million years. sun is but a bright star shedding no warmth on the desolate landscape of Pluto, the last and least known of the planets. Moving on, we look back to see Pluto eclipse the sun. We are now on the outer edge of our solar system. It takes light from the sun 5 hours to reach here, and more than 4 years to reach the nearest star out in space. It is probable that many of the billions of stars in our Milky Way are orbited by planets. And beyond our galaxy lie billions of other galaxies with their countless stars. Are we alone in the universe? Or are there beings on some distant planet watching the night sky, wondering, imagining, of all things,